It's time to get a little less serious about wrestling. This is the alternate commentary table with lifelong friends.
Notice your difference in size.
And lifelong wrestling fans.
Each is a very capable performer, and each is a little too clever to give the other boy much of an advantage.
Mitch Honsius.
Credits himself with a lot of power.
And Dimitri Korolis.
So that he got all that power from drinking raw olive oil all through his youth.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Dimitri. I believe in Dimitri. Throw your chair shots from side to side and say, I believe in Dimitri, 'cause he's got to do the show alone. Throw your chair shots from side to side and say, I believe in Dimitri, 'cause Mitch is on holidays. That is correct, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, you are listening to the alternate commentary table right here on the McGuire on Wrestling podcast feed. I am your host, solo host today, Dimitri. That's right, the Dimitri. I'm here without the Mitch. He's on holidays right now. So we got to do this the show solo. We didn't have to. It's just I'm leaving for another couple weeks after this. So I am telling everyone right now, GWO, roster alike, I'm just saying, you might get a tap. You might get a call from Mitch. Be prepared. Be on standby. We may need you. You may have to hop over the bench and pull a couple shifts, and we're excited. So for those that are interested, there's really only one way that you can show it, and that's by joining the Team MOW Facebook page. Team MOW on the Facebook, McGuireShow.com. That's the search for the merch. And why did I start out the show like this? It's very simple. Look, it's growing on me. The other week on the alternate scenario, we talked about it. When Daddy was on the pod, it was a 2-on-1. I said Bobby Roode. They said Hendry. I've converted. I've seen the light. I am reborn. This thing is out of control. I'm on record. I'm going to say it. It is the best theme music and entrance in the business. Get this guy to the big show as fast as we can. All right. So now I got to put an agenda together. I'm not an agenda guy. You take things for granted. You don't know what you have until you don't have it with the Mitch. But since Mitch is not here, I decided that when we do the agenda, I'm going to start this show very humbly and in honor of Mitch. So today's episode will only be about Cody Rhodes and LA Knight. Yeah. Nah, just kidding. Come on, I can't do that. But I want to. It'd be great. It's good poetic justice. It'd be unreal. But no, I want to start off, actually one thing. When we said, McGuireShow.com, we drop on the Saturday. McGuire's got the show on the Sunday that comes out. He did an interview with the real one, Enzo. Zoe, however we want to go. If you haven't heard it, go and check it out. That thing was unreal. And by the way, congrats. Good job, Mike. That was an excellent interview. But someone had mentioned this on the Team MOW page, and I finally caught up. It's that Who Killed WCW. I don't know if you have seen this thing yet. I thought it was really good. Is it a lot of things we've seen before? Yes. A lot of the story that we know before? Yes. Was it good to see the corporate side and really everything that's going on? Absolutely. And I think this was a good cherry on top. This is just my opinion for this story of the wrestlers. So I'm going to throw my opinion. I agree at the at the end when they really blame the executives. I'm going to absolutely agree with that. And I say those are the ones that killed WCW. One person that they didn't mention, though, was they really steered away from Vince McMahon killing WCW as an entity. I mean, I know they showed it in the last episode, but they didn't touch on it too much, I felt, at least from the competition standpoint. But that's my opinion. So chime in. I know there was a thread before, but I thought it was an excellent series. And when I say like these executives, I was kind of looking, and when you see that side of the story, it's interesting because I'm going to parallel that to really what's happening in AEW. because you're looking at somewhat of the same thing. Like you seem to forget like the rise that this show had in WCW. Yes, it was there in the early 90s, didn't have much going in until Bischoff came in. But there's this small span, this small window. I think it was around 1995, 96, where things really started to get going and the momentum. And then, of course, the infamous 83 weeks. The point I'm making is with the right amount of talent, the right storyline, the right presentation from an entertainment value, things can happen and things can happen quickly. And I'm sitting here looking and I'm going, what have we talked about with AEW, Mitch and I repeatedly, week over week, is they're amazing at the wrestling. They're amazing at the talent, but they lack in that storyline and presentation. And one thing that rung with me was the first few episodes is when Bischoff said, look, we are a television company. This is an entertainment company. In order to compete, you have to compete with another entertainment company. So that's my 2 cents. We'll get into the shows here really quick. Usually we start with Raw. The Mitches got the Raw on the docket. I really don't got much to say. Look, outside of I think that what's going on with the scary Howdy Doody, with the Uncle Howdy, and everything that's going in there, and the Wyatt Six, this is what Raw needs. They need disruption. They need something to change up. All that I'm interested when I watch there, honestly, is what's going to happen with Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. I think that's amazing. It looks like it's going to be SummerSlam. It's on its way. I love it. I cannot say anything bad about it. But the rest of the show for 3 hours, it's just a haul and a tough sell to fill time. It's really the Wyatt Six, I think, that's going to save the show. So I'm really rooting for them because what they're doing is, I think, what they wanted the Judgment Day to do, in the sense of have this faction and have this overarching storyline. Like you go to Smackdown and it's all Bloodline all the time, everywhere, which is, we save the best for last. So that's all I got to say about Monday Night Raw. I don't know, chime in, you guys. I didn't, they're on a hot streak. They're cooling off a little bit. They're cooling off, okay? The steak is off the grill right now, and it's just resting. And, I don't know. Is it the temperature? We'll have to find out. I want to move into AEW. Listen, it's no secret. MJF, the guy's great on the mic. But let me tell you what else is great. Leather jackets, okay? Him and the Garcia. I loved it for 2 reasons. Number one, like I said, leather jackets. Old school leather jackets. Let's bring it back. We need it. I didn't realize how much we did need it. It's unreal. That should be the new faction. There should never been an Undisputed Kingdom. There should just be an undisputed leather grade. I like what's going on over there. But here's what I like more importantly is that I loved seeing Daniel Garcia get a push. This is unreal. Finally, some homegrown talent, some people that we could see that this is their presentation instead of just bringing it in. Again, you have WCW, we talked at the top of the show here, that brought in talent that was recognizable, but they put them in these incredible storylines and got them going right away. But what happened at the end when Conan, when you heard Conan talking about his version as to who killed WCW? Part of what he said was they never let the mid-carders play with the big boys at the top of the company. Now, they tried to spin an angle in that near the end, but it never really worked. And so, good on you, AEW. This is what, personally, for me, I want to see. I want to see the fact that you have so much talent there. Like, yeah, maybe it is where the best wrestle. Maybe it is the best wrestling. But it could also be the best presentations. It could also be the best storylines as well. And I like seeing a person like Daniel Garcia. But can someone explain to me Will Ospreay? Can someone just go on record and tell me what the heck is happening over here? Who is this guy? I'm not understanding this. What's he doing? He's fighting this guy. Then he's got the swerve, and then he's going in and talking to the MJF, and then he wants to challenge the Garcia, and then he brings his belt everywhere where he wants to go. It's kind of like the little dog in the purse. You know, you can't leave home without it. I can't figure this guy out, you guys. He's everywhere in all places. Who's writing for this person? You, go over here. You, go over there. It's like Mitch when he was at the restaurant when he had to help his parents out. The guy's pulling shifts everywhere. He's serving. He's washing dishes. He's doing a podcast. He's got to go and do his own work. He's hiring. He's firing. It's crazy, you guys. I'm in a tailspin with Will Ospreay. This is unbelievable. He'll actually go through the Forbidden Door and then come back the revolving door to go back to Forbidden Door. I just can't wrap my head around what they're doing. It's like he came to the company and they're like, okay, listen. They're in the boardroom and they're like, okay, you're going to do a program with all these guys, okay, at one time. Okay, like, I don't know. Should we just do a Will Ospreay gauntlet match in AEW where he just fights everyone and leaves and he peaks for 4 months and he's got all the belts and relinquishes them? And can I just throw it out there? I'm a fan of the build. I really am. I'm a fan of someone believing what they're saying. Did anyone else get the sense on Dynamite that they kind of spoiled what would happen come Forbidden Door? Just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there. That's all I have to say. I'm ranting. I am. I'm a little fired up this morning. I had to get my own coffee. Usually Mitch buys the coffee. Now I got to get my own coffee. Never mind I paid for parking. Now I got the coffee. It's out of control. Speaking of Forbidden Door, I like, the Meltzer and the Mike talked about this actually the last couple weeks, right? And chiming in on the Team MOW page. But is Forbidden Door really a forbidden door? It almost seems like a suggested speed limit door at this point. Like there's nothing really forbidden about it. And here's the other thing. If you're going to throw names out, I get it that a lot of these names that are coming in, people know them and they're big matches and they have a history. And if you're a fan in New Japan, but when we're talking about ratings and we're talking about trying to attract people into whether it's beat NXT or get over that million viewership on a weekly basis, a random video package and then watching guys like Jericho or Okada or anyone, Moxley, getting really surprised, like, or even when Daddy asked, right, when he made the introduction and acting so surprised, like this is a big deal. If the generic person in North America, for example, is watching and doesn't know exactly what this means, again, you got to build it up a bit more because to me, like I know who the names are. Self-admittedly, I'm not as versed in them as a lot of fans would be. So the pay-per-view for me is not really landing. I'll be honest. I'm not in a big rush to see it. Maybe that's part why they do an Ospreay and Swerve. I don't know. But the point being is like, yeah, Forbidden Door is not really so forbidden. It's kind of out in the open right now. It's there. It's, I don't know. I'm not looking forward to it. Money in the Bank, however, now there's something that I'm looking forward to. There's something that I want to see. There's some intrigue. There's something that's happening that I say to myself, ooh, okay, all right, we could have something here. I'm all right with that. You got people winning. It's the LA Knight, my boy, the man. Maybe the biggest crowd pop next to Joe Hendry. That's happening right now. Next to maybe Roman Reigns when he comes back. It's great. And of course, Tiffy time. Is it her time? It's got to be her time. It has to be. It's got to be Tiffany Stratton's time. I've been waiting for this. I've been needing this. We've all been needing this. It's great. But this is what I'm talking about. This is why we get excited for things, because we don't know what's going to happen. It's not forced down our throat. It's organic. It's beautiful. It's fantastic. I love it, ladies and gentlemen. We'll do, I'm sure Mitch will do do a little bit more of a preview show next week. I might chime in. I'll put my picks in. We'll get to it. I'm not leaving you. But and that essentially really takes us to SmackDown, right? And I'm going to go and say SmackDown has been the number one show out of all of them to me for a very long time. And I think you got the 2-hour condensed. You got an anchor of a storyline in this Bloodline, which I'm loving to death. I'm loving the new version of it. It's amazing. We'll get to it. But it's the production. Like, everything there is just working. And maybe part of it too is because it's Friday. Maybe I'm in the mood on Friday. Maybe I'm in the, I want enough for Friday. And again, I'm going to go back to that whole who killed WCW. There was a point when they were in the show, they were going and they were gaining all this momentum, and then Turner Broadcasting said, hey, we want to do another show, and subsequently there became Thunder, right? And with Thunder, you have a dilution, essentially. Eric Bischoff was talking about it. You had to fill the shows, a lot of the same people. They didn't have the oomph. See, WWE doesn't have that issue because they have so much talent that they can separate the shows. And everything's exciting, and it's in a time slot that, like I said, is exciting. I think like Friday night, like I'm watching them at home. I got to do a bit of my homework for the show, but I legitimately love the show, and it'll always be ambient in the background. And thank goodness for PVRs and being able to rewind and record shows. If you want to go back and pay attention, it's great and it's working for me. But I go back like with AEW where they have these other shows, and their prerogative is yes, okay, you want to give some more and give some presentation, but I personally think they should scale it back. Like the whole thing that I'm watching Who Killed WCW is you kind of have a free lesson in front of you for both parties, but especially if you're AEW, I mean, that's your homework. Study that film and study that tape. The Maguire and the Meltzer, they talk about the TV deal being so important to them. Just watch this on Vice the last few weeks. You talk about not diluting the show. Because I'll be honest, does anybody really follow every single storyline that's happening? Like, I'm a Dynamite specific viewer. I don't watch Collision. I never really watched Rampage. And it kind of comes together. And so you have enough talent there. Like, yeah, let's get going, you guys. Let's absolutely get going. Anyways, SmackDown, new camera angles. I'm loving, and they're doing this on Raw, but I'm loving the backstage into the gorilla position. I'm loving it. It's great. But let's just go into how to start a show. You want to know how you start a show? I'll tell you how you start a show. You get your ultimate good guys against your ultimate bad guys, and you make them fight and keep fighting until security comes out. Then you get your good guys to beat up the securities. That's the bad guy's job. But now the good guys are doing it. I don't know what's happening. This is great. This is amazing. This is like putting Siamese fighting fish. We all tried it. Don't lie to me. We all tried it. But this is like putting Siamese fighting fish inside the tank and getting them to go at it. And who's going to win? And what's going to happen? Okay, maybe that's not the most humane thing to do, but it works. It's entertainment, okay? We all love it. We've all seen it. It's amazing. That's how you start a show. That's how you do it. And our boy Nick Aldis, Mitch's boy. It's true. It's Mitch's boy. You want to challenge us on this? Go back to the ACT. I can't remember which episode. I will find it off the top of the cuff when he graciously did an opener for us and pumped Mitch's tires because he's our guy. He's a dungeon guy through and through. Okay? That's how you start a show. That's how you get me sucked in. That's how you get me going. Okay? That's what you do. I want to talk about wardrobes. Yep. Yeah, wardrobes and SmackDown. Kevin Owens, I'm picking on you. Here's the thing. If you're going to get into a melee, into a fisticuffs, a brawl, if you will, either get something with shoelaces or keep the boots on. You can't lose a shoe. There's just no way you can lose the shoe. Okay? Toni Storm can lose a shoe. That's part of her shtick. She throws the shoe. Okay? Random task from Austin Powers. There's another guy who can lose the shoe. It's okay for him to lose the shoe. But for you, you can't afford a lost shoe. You can't be a one shoe kind of person. It's going to throw everything off. So you got to come a little bit prepared. Now, I will say this to whoever's credit, because I missed it, whoever gave the shoe back, or if he went back to get the shoe, good on you. That's teamwork. That's what I like seeing. But yeah, we got to do the wardrobe. Okay. Speaking of wardrobe, you guys. Okay, let's talk about it for a sec. In SmackDown, we saw the return of maybe the greatest potential tag team of all time. A moniker in which Mitch and I have been walking around for years. That's pretty deadly. Jean jackets, tassels, throwback, musicals. They're throwing ideas out every which way, right, left, and down. You see what I did there? That's right. I just came up with that. Do you see what I mean? Do you see what's going on here? Pretty deadly, in my opinion. Why they're not right away involved, okay, for the championships, for the belts. I don't understand. It's fine. It is what it is. I'll stay tuned. I'll stay to watch. I'll do my thing. But we're glad to have you back because we missed you. The world missed you. Everybody missed you. But I'll tell you what we're not missing. The Street Profits. I don't get it. I'm not sure what's happening there. And they got to come in and with these guys, that's fine. Do what you have to do. But they will win and become triumphant. Otherwise, I don't know what I'm going to do. I might, if Pretty Deadly is not in contention to come in and win these titles, I'm just throwing it out there. I might boycott SmackDown as much as I love it. I might do it. Don't make me. I might do it. And by the way, speaking of tag teams, what's up with no tag team Money in the Bank? Unless I'm wrong. Did I miss something here? They got Money in the Banks for everything. If anything, you know what I think Money in the Bank should be? Money in the Bank should actually have every single Money in the Bank title online. Not just the world one. I get you can cash it in on whichever one you want and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's fine. Nobody does it. You know, it'd be nice and refreshing if someone did do it. You know, like for example, you know, that would be a great way for Ricochet to get his speed championship back or something to that effect. That could work, right? Or is he the sixth man? But yeah, that's what I say. I say do a full-on Money in the Bank, you know, at all times for everything. And you know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see some crowd. Like I always said, I want like I want Money in the Bank. I want Rhea Ripley to come back and cash in the Money in the Bank on Damian Priest. That's what I want. We said it. I want to throw something out there. I noticed two things on SmackDown. Number one, is it me or is it Apollo Crews, Kevin Hart on steroids? I said it. Go back and look at it. Correct me if I'm wrong. I want to talk about how to really be a heel. This Logan Paul or Logan Heel, you guys, I can't say enough great things about him. I really can't. This guy is absolutely amazing at what he does. And I like that they're going and doing old school things with him. I love the fact that they're going and you're in New York, in Madison Square Garden, in front of the iconic crowd. Amazing. I'm going to bring out an Indiana Pacer in front of you because I'm that guy. I love this kind of stuff. I love when heels can just be heels. It may not sound like much on paper, but the effect on building a character and animosity, it just works. It absolutely and utterly works. And it just goes to show that sometimes we don't need to overthink the storylines. It's just kind of there. And why not do it? So shout out to Logan Paul. He's in his prime. Yeah, I did that. Let's get to the Bloodline. Let's get to the 11 out of 10s, the 15 out of 10. The best thing that's happening in all of wrestling, in all of entertainment, as their relative will say. You guys, this is working on so many levels, and it's kind of like when you're red hot, white hot, however you want to put it, you can't miss. There's nothing you can do that misses. And I love everything that's happening here, and it's all in these little details. Number one, how dare you go after the Heyman? I'm just, you know what? But I get it. Heat, heel, we just talked about it. That's how you do it. That's how you rip the candy from a baby and lick it in front of him out of spite. That's how you do it. He comes out. The Bloodline's looking a little similar in a way, isn't it? Got 4 people that are acknowledging the tribal chief or Solo Sikoa. I mean, this guy, he's got the necklace or the whatever you want to call it. I apologize. I'm not trying to be offensive here. I just don't know the name of it. But it's the gear of the tribal chief, the one who wears it. I mean, this was passed down from the family. And he's wearing it, and they all acknowledge him. And it's up to the Heyman. Where do you stand? What is it that you do? Who do you work for? Who do you acknowledge? Well, it's not Solo Sikoa. And ladies and babies, boy, did they make it clear that they did not like that. Oh my goodness. A Samoan spike. Okay, a beat down. To the point where I like what they did. I like what they did over here. First of all, going back, you got basically they have replaced every single person in almost the same fashion. A storyline that has gone on for the last 3+ years that is continuing for however long they want to spin it. When you look at, when we're done with this whole story, we're talking it could be a 5, 6, 7, 8-year program, and we're going to eat it up because it's masterfully done. I'm going to go on record and say that this is the greatest. And when you put Cody Rhodes and everything and The Rock and all that stuff, this is the greatest storyline, and we are living in it right now. We are watching the Tom Brady get all these Super Bowls in front of us. He's replaced Roman Reigns. He's got his version of the Usos. Now he's got his version of his enforcer. You guys, with Roman Reigns on the shelf, the We Want Roman chants, it's there, and they're going to make the WWE is going to make them squeeze it out and yearn for it and want it when the timing is right, because they learned that with Cody Rhodes, making him lose once, win another. They're good. Roman Reigns was right and said, you're not going to understand what you have until it's gone. And he's right. The Rock said he's returning. The Usos have been a little quiet in a way. Not so much main event, but where's Jimmy? Jimmy, where are you at? And maybe he's going to get Roman Reigns. They see what's happening. And then the coup de grace, the best thing that ever happened. They put Paul Heyman through a table the same way that the Shield did. I mean, hey, come on. It's me you're talking to here. Thank you. I acknowledge the WWE because they are the tribal chief of wrestling right now. I hate to say it. I don't hate to say it, actually. I love it. This is working. This is amazing. I want to give a shout out to Paul Heyman. If you didn't think he was the greatest manager, advocate, whatever you want to call of all time, anyone that can take a bump like that, oh, he is. Oh, he wins. It's over. There's no debate at all. You know what else doesn't have a debate? The alternate scenario. Ooh. Come on, you got to keep some things. All right, alternate scenario. Mitch, this one is for you. Who do you like better, Cody Rhodes or LA Knight? Come on. I had to. Okay, alternate scenario. Who would you rather have as your AEW champion? Swerve Strickland or Carmelo Hayes? Guys, think about it for a sec. Think about it. When I say AEW champion, I'm going to throw it out there and mean, who would you rather put your staple on the up-and-comer? Guys, I think it's Carmelo Hayes. I love me my Swerve, but there's something about this guy it's going to erupt. It's going to explode. It's going to open up. All right. Given again, a little bit of thematic today about who killed WCW. Who has a bigger impact, or if you want to put it, Which faction would you rather join? Is it the new Bloodline with the red shoes on Solo Sikoa? Or is it the NWO Wolfpack, red and black? That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm talking about. All right. For me, and it's so timely, just watching everything. And of course, I go back and I look at clips and the algorithm's working and everything's working. For me, I gotta tell you, it's I think I would join the NWO red and black, and I'm gonna tell you why. Yeah, was it a diluted version? Yeah, it was a little bit different, sure. I just feel that they would be a little more accommodating. I felt it was more of a group effort of having fun. The Bloodline over there, it's a little serious. Might be a little too serious. And let's be honest, it's kind of time to get a little less serious about wrestling, isn't it? All right. Who would you rather do your promos for you? Follow me on this. This is a tough one. Would you rather have the Advocate, Paul Heyman, or would you rather have to do your promos, the Briscoe? Listen, I think as of late, just because maybe he hasn't had the forum, but I think I got the Briscoe wanting to do my promos for me. I think he might be leading in the Advocate department. I could be wrong. Chime in. That's what the Team MOW page is for. But I'm thinking right now I got me a little bit of the Briscoe. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes it. You heard me enough. I'm the solo Korolis of the podcast right now. Look, it's not the same without my partner, Mitch. He having us on the show, we go back and forth. It's amazing. But like I said, GWO for life roster, stay on standby because you might get a tap on the shoulder. You might need to hop the bench and pull a shift. You might be called in. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm going to be gone for the next few weeks as well. I'm going to try to chime in. I'm on holidays. I'm not too far. I'm going to the Americas to go visit some family. It's that time. It's that summertime. But look, thank you again for tuning in to the Alternate Commentary Table, brought to you by McGuire on Wrestling, the podcast feed, wherever you're streaming your podcasts. Please pay attention. When you're done listening to our show, you're going to wait for tomorrow for McGuire's show. It's going to be fantastic like it always is. You're going to chime in on Team MOW on the Facebook page. Just ask to join if you're not there already, because if you're not, you guys, this is where the real fun happens. This is where the real faction happens, and it's all positive talk, and I love what's happening there. McGuireShow.com, that's going to be your search for the merch. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you. We will see you and chat to you next week. Until then, I won't say it for Mitch. You guys say it. I won't say it. I won't do it justice.